Welcome to class. My name is Bolaji Oluwadunsin and I am the creative designer at the Craft Collection. So in today's class, I'll be teaching you how to make Ankara backpack / school bag. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be doing is I'm going to be introducing the materials we're going to be working with for the backpack. So first of all, we have the gum stay. We need the gum stay. Then we need foam, gum, net. So this net is sort of padded. I just call it net, but it is padded and this is black, so just watch out for this. Then we need our scissors, then taping, then small belt. Then we need denim for this. This is called tappeta. This is the front side of it. It's called tappeta. Then we need our zip clothes. It's sold payard. We need our lining. If I forget. We need bag adjusters. So this is the plastic. We need the plastic for the ones that we used to pull the belt forward. And then we need 2 zip tits. Okay. Then lastly, we need a colorful Ankara fabric. So let's get right into the class. Here is a table showing you the different measurements of the different parts of the Ankara backpack we are going to be making in class today. Okay, so for a backpack, there are 5 major parts of a backpack. We have the front, we have the back, the zip panel, the side, and the shoulder strap. Now there are a few rules that apply to this table that will guide you, so you can take a screenshot of this page right now to save it later so that you can keep referring back to it when you're about to make your bag. Okay, so when this measurement on this column is tappeta, this is for jean, and this is for Ankara. There are some parts of the bag that does not use jean, like this place, you can see the dash, and there's a part of the bag that does not use Ankara. You can see the dash here, you can see the dash here. Okay, so now in each box, you can see the length and breadth of each part of the bag for each material. So I'm not going to complicate this at all. That is why I drew this out, so that you can have better understanding. So take a screenshot of this and save it for later. So for the front, you cut a tappeta of 16 inches by 12. For the front, you cut jeans of 10 inches by 15. For the front, you cut Ankara 10 inches by 15. And it's the same exact measurement we use for the back of the bag because they are the same height and width. Okay, so now for the zip panel, you are going, anywhere you see ×2, you know that you cut 2 pieces of the measurement written down. For the zip panel, you are going to cut tappeta 33 inches by 3.5 inches, and you cut 2 of these. Then Ankara of 34 inches by 4 inches, you cut 2 of it. So for the zip panel, the Ankara will be 2, the tappeta will be 2. For the side of the bag, you'll be cutting tappeta 33 inches by 6.5 inches. For the jean, you'll be cutting 35 inches length by 7 inches. We are not using Ankara for the side, that is why you can see a dash here. For the shoulder strap, you can see another ×2, which means you'll be cutting 2 of this. For the shoulder strap, tappeta is 17 inches by 3, and for the jean, you'll be cutting 18 inches by 4 for the shoulder strap. For everything you are cutting here, you're going to be needing lining to cover each part. So for the front and back of the bag, you're going to be cutting 2 lining that will cover the inside of the front and inside of the back. And this is the measurement you are going to be using. You're going to be using the Ankara measurements. Anyway, the Ankara these are for the lining of the front and back. You are going to be adding 2 inches to the length and 2 inches to the breadth. because we want the lining to be wider than the front and back of the bag, so that we will be able to cut out the excess when we are done. For the side of the bag, we are also going to be cutting lining for the jean, and the lining will be the exact same measurement with the jean. The lining you are cutting for the side will be the exact same measurement for the jean. Now, moving down, there are different sections you see in your backpack that are different features. Everything has a measurement. Now, for the inner pocket would have the length of the inner pocket is 13 inches by 16 inches. You might not be able to see this because of the brightness of the ring light, but this is 16 inches here, 13 inches by 16 inches. Then we need the top belt that we use to lift the bag. You know that loop where you put your finger through to lift the bag? Yes, this is the measurement. You'll be using cutting small belt, 9 inches of small belt. For the shoulder strap, there is, if you notice in backpacks, there's a kind of net that is used that I showed you guys when I was introducing the materials to you. That net, you are going to be cutting 19 inches by 5 inches, and you are going to be cutting 2 of it, because the shoulder strap is 2, one on your left. Hey, Sarafina, shut up! You'll be cutting 2, which will serve for the left and right shoulder. So you'll be cutting 2 of 19 inches by 5 inches. Then there are 2 long belts that helps you lengthen your bag on the back. If you want your backpack to be tight on you, or if you want it to be loose, this is what to determine. Small belt adjuster. So for your small belt, you are going to cut 2 inches times 2. Times 2 means you are going to cut 2 of 20 inches for using small belts. Then the zip clothes. The zip clothes, you are going to be cutting 34 inches. This zip clothes will be attached to the zip panel. Okay? For the zip clothes, it is 34 inches. Then padded inner pockets. There is another inner pocket that would be in the back that will be padded. Now this padded inner pocket will be sewn to the first inner pocket. Okay? So for the padded inner pocket, we have 28 inches by 16 inches. 28 inches by 16 inches. Then the foam that will be inside the inner pockets that will make this one padded, the length is 8 by 11. Okay, so I'm taking my time to explain everything here so that you don't have any trouble. Then you cut a piece of jean that is 5 inches by 5 inches. You cut a piece of jean that is 5 inches by 5 inches. Okay. So this is the front and back that has been cut. 2 pieces of front and back tappeta, front and back. So when you measure the 16 inches by 12 inches, all you have to do is just to form a curve. Use a round object to form a curve around here and here. And that is all for this, for the front and back. This is the lining for the front and back. 2 pieces, front, back. And the measurement for this lining is 18 inches by 14 inches. 18 inches by 14 inches. Then this is the zip panel. You can see 2 pieces times 2, and the length, we can always revert back to the length. Don't let me waste much time on this. So you can see that they have been ironed to the gum stay. They have both been ironed to the gum stay. Okay. Hey, shut up! Then this is the side of the bag. This is the side of the bag. This is the jean. It has been ironed to gum stay. Ironed to gum stay. This is the side. This is also the side of the bag, but this is tappeta. Okay, tappeta. Let's give you a clearer view. clearer view. This is the tappeta, and it has been cut already. This is the side tappeta, and this is the lining. This is the lining cut for the side. The lining is the lining is 35 inches by 7 inches for the side. Lining for the side, 35 inches by 7 inches. This is the zip panel for tappeta. This is tappeta, the zip panel, 2 of it. Like this, it will be placed on the Ankara. We'll show you how it is done. Then you also cut lining for the zip panel, 2 of it, and the measurement is 34 inches by 4 inches. 34 inches by 4 inches, 2 of it for the zip panel. This is the Ankara for the front and back. You can see they have been ironed to gum stay. The Ankara for the front and back, 2 pieces. Okay, revert to the charts for the measurement. This is the jean for the front and the back. Front and the back, 2. Okay, it has been ironed to the gum stay. Iron yours too. This is padded inner lining. This is the length, and on the back we are going to be folding it into 2 like this, called half. So this is the inner lining, the long part, the one that will be padded. Then we have the single inner lining. This is the first inner lining measurement you saw. This is the inner pocket lining. This is it. So this is the padded. This is the one that will be padded. This is the zip cloth that has been cut out, 34 inches, and then you insert the zip teeth. There is a short video on how to insert this zip teeth. This is the top handle. Okay, this is how it looks like on backpacks. This is how it will be placed on backpacks. So this is where they carry the back. This is what they used to carry the backpack. Okay, so they cut this just one. This is the small belt adjuster, 2 pieces of small belt adjuster. This is the 20 inches small belt adjuster. This is the net for the shoulder strap, 19 inches by 5 inches. You cut 2 pieces. This is the shoulder strap, 2 pieces, 17 inches by 18 inches by 4 inches. Okay, 18 inches by 4 inches. This is the shoulder strap, 2 pieces. This is the shoulder strap tappeta, 2 pieces. Shoulder strap tappeta, 2 pieces. This is the 5 by 5 jean, 5 by 5 inches jean, 2 pieces. this is a plastic bag adjuster, and this small belt, 7 inches, is what we use to sew the plastic to the bag. Okay, you cut 7 inches. The length of this is not on the chart, so you can take note of that here now. So this is what we used to attach to the shoulder strap. This. So cut 7 inches, 2 of it for the 2 plastics. Now let's get to the machine. To insert the zip head, you're going to open up the zip close like this, and the round bottom of the zip teeth are going to insert the first one inside like this. There are 2 holes there, then you insert the second one inside like this. Once you see that it is equal, then you push the zip down. Push it. And that is it. Okay, that is it. So for the second zip teeth, so to insert from the other side, same process. Now you have these 2 facing each other. They are supposed to face each other. They're curved edges, so that is it. So first things first, I'm going to be fixing the front and the back jean and Ankara together. Then we'll sew it on the tappeta, then attach to foam, then attach to lining, and that will complete the front part and the back part. So if you've seen the picture of the backpack, we have the Ankara at the top, then the jean at the bottom, and the same goes for, and this will make up for the front part of the bag. Then we have the back parts, the same process, Ankara with the jean. So now we are going to be sewing the Ankara and the jean together. So that's the first step. Put on the machine. Place it on it like this. Then we sew. Now once that is done, we're going to fold this rough part downwards like this, then we'll top stitch downwards like this, down, then we'll top stitch on the jean. Top stitch means we'll sew across the jean on that folded edge. Good. Now this is a kid's backpack, but I just want to show you the design on this and explain how it is done. The measurement on how to make a backpack for a small child would be in the description below. Okay, so for this backpack, it has a quilt design. Now the process of making this bag is when you get to this stage, you take foam, you're going to take foam, this type of foam, and then sew it. Let me just show you. because I want you to benefit as much as you can from this training. Then you sew it on the foam like this and sew across. You sew across, you sew across, you sew across, then you come back and sew cross lining, and that is what you do for the front and the back. But we are not doing this design for this class, so I've taught you. I hope you understand like that. Okay, so moving on, we're going to do this. We just attach this. There is no foam that is going to be here. We just attach it straight to the tappeta. All right, the front and the back. Now the darkest part of the tappeta would be on the wrong side of the fabric, so the dull side will face you. Then we'll sew around the tappeta. The tappeta is the main thing we need here. Okay, so but before we sew, the jean part must be 9 inches. The length of the jean from where we have sewn, from this line, must be 9 inches. The tappeta will stop at 9 inches. Okay, to get the best beauty, to get the best beauty from this bag. So we're not just going to place it anyhow and then sew. Everything has to be organized. So I'm just going to measure 9 inches. So now you can see where the 9 inches stops. 9 inches, then 9 inches. So I'm just going to shift the tappeta down to the end of the jean, because that's where it's got to. Nine inches, perfect. So where it is now, we're just going to, if you can pin it, go ahead and pin, but I don't need to pin. I'm just going to start sewing straight. You want to sew close, very close to the edge. So this is what we have. Can you see this sewn line? Then on the other side. So this is what we have, and then we'll do the same thing for the second part. So once that is done, you want to trim away the excess, okay? So that is done too. So from this, you will notice that, so this will be the front and the back. You will notice that they are equal. You can see the line is equal. So please do not make a mistake. 9 inches, 9 inches. Do not make a mistake, okay? So the next thing we are going to do now is to put foam here. We're going to attach foam on this to cover everywhere. Then we'll use the lining to cover everything up. So this foam is large enough, as you can see. It is large enough. So we're just going to place the front and back part of the bag on the foam. Okay. I'm going to place that like this. Place it like this, then cut. So now we have the front and the back with the foam. So the next thing we are going to do now is to sew this part of the bag to the foam and then to the lining. So this is what we have. Then we'll sew everything together round. So once that is done, we are going to trim round again. So the next thing we are going to do now is to mark the middle point of this front and back. Okay, so you fold it into two, and where the edges meet at the middle point here, you are going to give it a snip, and you do the same for the second part. Give it a snip, so just small. Okay, all right. Now this is what we need to sew the zip panel. We need the zip cloth with 2 zip teeth in. We need lining for the zip panel, 2 of it. We need tappeta for the zip panel, 2. Then we need 2 Ankara for the zip panel, that is ironed with gum stick. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to pick 1 piece of fabric and 1 piece of tappeta. Okay, those aside. Turn your Ankara like this and place the tappeta, the darkest part of the tappeta, the right side of the tappeta, to face the gum stay like this. Okay, then you place it on a straight edge, close to a straight edge like this. Then we'll sew a straight line down. We'll sew it together all the way down. I'm going to do that quickly. So once this is done, once you've sewn the straight line, you do the same thing for the second piece of Ankara and second piece of tappeta. So once that is done, we want to trim the excess part of the Ankara that is on the other side. Once that is done, you want to take your zip cloth, flip your Ankara to face you. Then where this aggie place is, the face of the zip cloth, you want to place it here to face the Ankara like this. Place it like this. Then take 1 piece of lining, of this lining for zip panel, and cover the Ankara so that the zip will be in between the 2 of them. Then we'll sew. So once that is done, this is what you have. This aggie place facing the Ankara like this, then the lining down like this. Then we sew everything together on a straight line, so the zip is in between both of them. So the next thing we are going to do now is to fold the lining to go behind the Ankara like this. Then with top stitch, we sew a straight line joining the Ankara to the lining at the back. Once that is done, you can see the outcome, the straight line here and on the Ankara. Okay, so the next step is to repeat what we did earlier, but because this is already joined to the zip, I'm just going to show you again how it's done. The aggie part of the zip here, you place it on the fabric like this, on the Ankara like this. Then you take the second lining and cover it so that the zip like this would be in between the Ankara and the lining. Then you sew the three of them together. So after sewing a straight line, joining the side to the lining, this is what you should have. This is our complete zip panel, right? So it should look like this. Then we're also going to top stitch this second part, just as we did this one. We're going to sew this to the lining at the back, straight line. So after top stitching, the next thing we're going to do now is to keep this aside for now. The next part is we're going to be sewing the side of the bag. This is the side of the bag. This is the taffeta, lining and jean. So iron your jean to the gum stay, and then we're going to be sewing the taffeta on the jean like this. You place the deep black part of the taffeta, which is the right side of the taffeta, on the gum stay, and then we'll sew it to the jean, left and right, straight down, all the way down. So let's do that. We're going to trim the excess jean all around the taffeta. So once we have this, the next thing to do is to pick our zip panel that we made earlier. The zip panel we made earlier, place the side on the zip panel to make sure it is at the middle like this. It is centralized. Where the middle is, I'm just going to mark where the middle is here. So what we are trying to do is to cut the exact size of the zip panel that matches the side. So this is what we have. Then we'll cut away the excess side on the left and right. So after getting this done, we want to divide this into two and mark both sides. So once that is done, don't make a mistake. This is the only thing we did for the side. The lining is still out. We don't need the lining yet. We only just joined the side, the taffeta to the jean. So after doing that, take it and keep it aside. The next thing we want to do is to pick the padded inner pocket lining, which is the 28 inches by 16 inches. You fold it into two. So we're putting foam inside to pad it up. Okay. So the foam we cut earlier, 8 inches by 11 inches. We are going to place it in between. As you can see, the middle of my lining I already formed it with by folding the by folding it into two. Then I use my hands to press it down like this so that I can get the middle when I open it. So you can see the crease formed there. Then you take the foam, place it at the middle of the lining. This is 8 inches by 11 inches, so you know how to place it. Then you cover it. Then you use your hand to adjust the foam to reach this edge very well, because we don't want this edge to be moving freely. Make sure that it is at the center. How you know it is at the center is the free lining on the left, right, which is 4 inches, will be the same thing on the right. 4 inches, as you can see, 4 inches, 4 inches. So this is where the foam is. So now we'll sew on the foam, but very close to the edge, round like this, to sew the foam directly to the lining. So that is what makes the inner padded lining. Okay. So after doing this, this is what you're going to get. Okay, this is what we are going to get. Then the inner pocket lining that is not padded, the ordinary one, which is this one, the 16 by 13 inches. We are going to use tape. Put this aside. We are going to use tape to sew one edge of it. So this is our taping. Okay, you are not going to cut anything. Once you get here, you would free the rest. You don't have to exactly measure, but if you want to measure your tape, you should be around 17 inches. Okay, so we're just placing the lining in between the tape, then covering it up. I'm just going to cut off this. So this is what we have, right? So we're going to pick up the padded, this padded lining, place it on it like this, and sew a straight line from the top here, from where the taping is, down. We are going to be leaving roughly 2 to 2.5 inches, okay, 3 inches. We're leaving 3 inches space before placing this single lining, pocket lining. So from here, I'm just going to sew, but when you are sewing, make sure that it is at the middle of where this two line is. So you want to sew a straight line that will be at the middle of these two lines. So let me do that. So I have a feeling that 3 inches might be too much, so let's do 2.5. Yeah, let's do 2.5. Let's do 2.5 space so that it won't be too further down. Now this is what we have. You now understand what I mean by it should be at the middle. So this is what we get. Okay, looking, it's already coming together. And then the next thing we are going to be doing is be placing you choose one of these, right, where you want it to be the back. I want this to be the back. So I want this to be the back. So then we'll place it on it like this, right? So this is, you don't want it to place it too close to the edge, because once we sew, we still have to sew inside of this. and then we want them to be able to access, whoever uses the bag to be able to access inside, because if it is too close like this, you can see that there will be an issue. So let's say we give it 3 inches space. Yeah, 3 inches is okay for this. 3 inches space here. Then you place the padded lining. Now when you place it, make sure that all this line centralize on the bag, just the way this one is. Okay. Then so that it will not move, I'm just going to pin this down. Now once that is done, I'm going to sew round on from the other side like this. Okay, so I'm not going to sew round to meet it. So this is what we get. Okay, this is the other side. Everything has been attached together. So what we are going to do now is to cut the excess. We'll cut the excess lining around the bag. Okay, so the pocket is looking nice, you can see. Then 2 other open. Okay, so we have 3 inner pockets for this bag. Once that is done, the next thing we want to do is to pick the shoulder strap and the jean, 5.5 jean, 2 pieces of 5.5 jean. Put it to one side. The small belt adjuster, which is 20 inches by 2 of 20 inches. Then the top handle, small belt top handle, this is 9 inches. Let me quickly sew this to the back of the bag. So wherever you sew this inner pocket will be the back of our bag, right? It has to be the back. So I'm going to sew the top handle first. So you place it, we want it to be in the middle, so we'll place it like this, close to where we have marked here. Remember we marked this place at the beginning of the video. We marked this place. Then you pick the second side, place it here, then let them meet at that middle place where you marked. Then sew. So this is what you get, top angle, right? Then the next stage is the long belt, small belt adjuster that is 20 inches. We are going to sew it to the jean 5 by 5 inches. So you are going to fold your jean this way. Okay, then fold it like this, like you're folding an handkerchief. So it will form a triangle. This place will be open, this place will be folded. Okay, so you're going to put the small belt adjuster 20 inches inside, not too far all the way down, because we don't want to waste the jean, but at least 1 inch inside the jean. Close it up, then we'll sew a straight line on it. You're going to top stitch, sew a straight line on it like this. Then we'll do the same thing to the second part. Then you do the second one too. So this is what you have, okay? This bottom is open and this is the folded part, okay? So once that is done, you're going to sew the two of them to the left and right bottom side of the bag. Now this is how you're going to place it. The belt will pull towards you from the right side of the bag, and the belt will pull towards you from the left side of this belt will pull towards you. So this is how they will be placed and sewn on the bag. Okay, we'll sew a straight line joining this to the bag. And don't forget, this is still the back of the bag. This is where the pocket is. So this is what you get. Make sure you don't sew it to the edge of the bag. Make sure you leave a little bit of space at the bottom of both sides of the bag, please. Then the next thing we are going to do is to cut the excess. I'm just going to cut the excess jean on both sides. Okay, so this is what we have now. Beautiful. So the next thing we're just going to put this aside. So the next thing we are going to do is to be sewing the back shoulder strap, the two shoulder straps. So we have the two nets here, okay, to the side. Then we have two tappeta, okay, then two jeans. Make sure you attach gum stay to them. Then we're going to be sewing the tappeta on both jean. The tappeta, please don't forget the tappeta on both jean. This way. So a straight line here, straight line here, straight line here, and straight line here. So the next thing we are going to do is to cut off the excess jean around the tappeta. Hey, shut up! Hey! So you are not cutting the tappeta, you're just cutting the jean around it. Make sure you are using a sharp scissors for this. Actually, for everything you are doing. Okay, so now we have the 2 shoulder straps. The next thing we are going to be doing is to be cutting foam. We're going to cut foam that will fit the exact measurement of this. This, and then for the second one, this. Okay, so I'm just going to cut okay. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to be cutting the exact measurement of the shoulder strap on the foam. So I'm just going to trim off the excess bits. What you are cutting does not have to be perfectly the same. But at least, yes, something like this. And I'm going to do the same for the second part. So once this is done, okay, we're going to take a piece of foam, of net rather, and then place it like this, directly on underneath the foam. So what we are trying to do is to cover up the foam with the net. So we're going to be sewing the 3 together. So when you are cutting your net, make sure you cut it slightly bigger than this. Okay, so I'm going to do that for the left and right shoulder straps. So now this is what we have, okay, perfectly sewn. So we'll do the same thing to the other side of the shoulder strap. So once that is done, you're going to trim off the excess foam that is left around the shoulder strap. Excess foam and nets. So if you also have excess nets, make sure you trim everything off. Like this, and then do the same thing. So once both of them is done, we're going to form an hack. We're going to cut an hack around one end of the shoulder strap. Okay, so I'm just going to use you can use a round object to trace this, then cut. So it's going to be like this. Just want to form a round edge on both sides. Okay, we are not cutting excess. So this is what we have, okay? So we have round. So it is just going to be on one side. This place is going to be flat. So do the same thing for the second side. So now once both of them is done, we need the taping again. So we are going to be taping around the edges, okay? We want the back strap the shoulder strap to be perfect and neat. So starting from the flat side, we're going to sew all around to this place. This will be left open. This end will be left open. So you follow the curve that we created earlier. So this is how the back will look like. See how neat this is. So we'll do the same thing for the second shoulder strap. So once that is done, we're going to pick the plastic. Let me remove it so that you see. We're going to pick the plastic adjusters, then put in this. I think the measurement of this is, let me just measure as a quick reminder. Okay, this is 8 inches. We have 2 8 inches that will be inserted into the plastic. So there are 2 flat lines in the middle of this plastic. So you put the first one in between the 2, okay, like this, line 1, line 2. Then you put the second hand to cover up the last line. We want to cover it, so it will be in between these 2 sides of the belt, like this. So you can see it is in between the 2 sides of the belt. Okay, then you pull outward. So this is what we have. It is what we get. So do the same thing for the second one. So once that is done, we want to attach it to the curved end of the shoulder strap. Okay, so you put this, you fold it 1 inch inside like this, 1 inch inside like this. Make sure the edges match, make sure it is the same height. Then we'll place this in between the 2, and you stop before the plastic gets to the edge. Okay, then we'll sew the 3 together. So this is what we have. Okay, this is the front, this is the back. We'll do the same thing for the other side. After putting this in order and this is finished, we're going to take the back part of the bag again and we're going to be attaching it to the back of the bag. So basically, we are not going to sew the back strap straight like this. This is wrong. We're going to tilt the shoulder strap like this in such a way that, I hope you can see this well, in such a way that this plastic is facing the direction of this place. It's moving, it's not it's like this, it's more outside like this. And then you'll notice that this place tilts upwards. It is fine. All right, so now we're going to make sure that the edge of this shoulder strap touches this top handle here. They will sew. Okay, we're going to be cutting away the excess. We just want this curve to pronounce. Okay, so we'll do the same thing for the other side. So I'm just going to adjust like this. And then sew. So this is the other side of the bag. So now we're just going to trim away this excess, and then we have this. Okay. So once that is done, we're going to be inserting the small belt into this other end of the plastic. So we're going to put this inside like this, then bring it out of the other end like that. So we can just relate this easily to the regular backpacks you've been using. There you go. The back is complete. The front is complete. There's nothing at the front. The front is complete. We have the complete side with the lining. And then we have the complete zip panel. We are almost done. Okay. So we just need to attach the zip panel and the side to the front and back, and then that's all. So 80% of the work has just been finished. So what is left is not much. So now I always join the zip panel to the back first, because the back has a lot of thickness and I just want to get it over with first. Okay, so I'm going to be using pin to hold this together so that I don't mistakenly sew them while I'm sewing the bag. Okay, so they stay together. So remember the middle part where we marked on the zip panel. You have to place it to align with the middle part of this top handle. Okay, which is this. Okay, so once this is done, you're going to start sewing from this middle part. Start sewing round, then we're going to be following the curve until we almost get to where the jean and the Ankara join. So we almost get here. Okay, now put it there. I said as I'm sewing it round, you will be look. So before we get to this where the jean meets the Ankara, we're going to stop. Okay, so as you can see, didn't reach the end here. Just going to cut. Pause it. So once you get to where this is, you're going to pick up the side part of your bag where the tappeta and the jean is, and then make the jean face the Ankara part of the zip panel like this. Okay, so we are going to place it on it like this, like so, where we know they would join. So you have to be very calm and gentle when you get to this stage. Make sure that where you want to sew or join the both of them matches this line. It will make it look more beautiful. It is not necessary or compulsory, but it will show that you took your time to study how the design is. So once you put them to match each other like this, you are going to place the lining that we left out. Okay, this lining for the side that we left out, you're going to first place it on the machine, right? Then this zip panel, going to place it, the bag, going to place it on it like this. You just need to take your time with this. Okay, so can you see the lining underneath it? So once you can see that, then we are good to go. Once that is achieved, okay, so once that is achieved, the next thing to do is to place the jean on the Ankara like this. So then the next thing we're going to do is to sew a straight line. All right, this Ankara, this excess Ankara will be cut out of the picture, the bag. So for this process, you can decide to use pin, so that everything will stay in place. So I'm just going to cut this off. Now, see what we have. Look at the line, how it matches where this is. So we'll put the lining from behind to come down like this. Okay, remember that everything has been stitched together. Then we'll sew a straight line so that that place will be flat and then more presentable. So this is what we have. Straight line here, same thing here. So the next thing we're going to do is to straighten out the jean on the lining. We are doing this so that we can cut away the excess lining behind the jean. So I'm going to use pin to hold the jean and the lining together. Okay. This. Okay, so now I'm going to be cutting the excess lining, and this is because I didn't cut the lining to be straight, so you might not have to, if you cut yours to be straight, you might not have this issue, but if you do, all you just need to do is to trim it off. Okay. So once you have trimmed the lining, then we'll now continue sewing. Okay, we'll continue from where we stopped. So make sure that as you're sewing, this jean, this tapeted side matches the edge here. Okay, you want to make sure that it matches, then you bring the lining down and then sew. Then we'll continue to sew around. I'm stop stitching where this belt is so that it doesn't remove or spoil along while they're using it. So I'm just going to make sure that it is well sewn and attached to the bag. So once you get to the end here, once you get to this end, before you reach it, just a few, maybe just one needle more to finish off that side. You're going to bend and tilt. You're going to tilt your bag and bend the side of the bag this way. Okay, and continue sewing. Before you get to the end too, this is the end. Before you get to this end too, you're going to tilt the bag again, face up, up. Then so I'm going to reinforce the other side too of this. I'm going to reinforce it too. So before we get to this line, we're going to stop. We're going to sew it to reach here, then we'll stop before it gets to this line. So this is where we'll stop. Then I'm going to just pick the zip panel and then sew round and stop before we also get to the jean. Okay, we want to start sewing from this edge here round and then stop before we get to this middle mark. So I'm going to do that by making sure that everything is flat together, then using my hand to control the edge. So once you've aligned it all together, you want to start sewing. Then you follow the curve of the bag. Okay. So now the next thing to do is we're going to be joining this Ankara to this jean, just like we did to this part. Okay, so once you sew the straight line, make sure that the Ankara is not squeezed around the edges. Make sure that it is well placed. So this is what we have. Now we're going to place the jean and Ankara to meet at the middle like this. To shape this, then we're going to sew. So I'm going to remove the pin I used. So this lining must stay away. We just want to sew this jean to the zip panel. This lining should be apart. So I'm going to use the pin to hold this together. Okay, then I'm going to sew. So once that is done, make sure that at the end of the day you have a flat surface like this. Okay, you don't want anything to be squeezed off. So once that is done, I'm just going to cut off the excess around here. Right, then you straighten out the lining, fold inward, then we'll use it to cover this rough edge. So it is too long, so I'm just going to reduce it a little bit. Make sure that you still have enough to fold. Okay, so once you have that like this, I'm going to fold the lining inside and then close it. So it's still a little bit long. Good. So now we're going to place, while holding it together, you place it on the machine and then top stitch. Okay. You're top stitching on the jean, not the Ankara. So this is what we have. Okay, the exact same thing we did on this side is what we have here, and this is what it looks like. You see the way it aligns. So now what we are going to do is to finally close the side. Okay, so once this is done, we're going to tape all the edges around. So using this tape, we're going to cover all the edges. We don't want our customer to be seen everywhere we sew, and it makes the bag last longer. So once you get to where you started from, you're going to cut a little more than where we started from, so there'll be excess left. You have to turn the back, this. So before you get to where we started from, you're going to fold in this part like this. Then and then this is what we have. This is what we have. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that for the front part right here. I'm just going to sew this round, then tape it round too, and that will be the end of our class. So now this is how you sew it round. You can see it is much easier at this stage. So this is where the complex part is. Once you get here, all you have to do is just sew it round, and that is all. So I'm just going to trim out the excesses. Then the next step is to tape all around too, and that's the last step. So this is the front part of the bag. So I'm going to be removing the pins and then we'll turn the bag inside out. Make sure you remove these pins, okay, before you turn it so that you not injure yourself. So once that is done, I'm going to push the bag out. So push out all the corners. This is the complete bag. So this is how the finished bag looks like. The top handle, the back straps, the front look. This is the inside of the bag. We have the inner pocket and its extras. See how neat it is. Okay. Thank you for watching, and if you want to waterproof your Ankara bag, there is a course on that. The Ankara will be treated the way it is, and then it will last for 6 months without it getting dirty, and your customers will enjoy their bags for a very, very long time. So if you are interested in doing that to make you stand out, there is a course for that. See you. Bye.